What's up, guys? I hope you liked that intro. I had an absolutely insane battle out there. My very first home match as number one for my school. I was super excited, but also a little nervous for this matchup. This player beat our number one last year in 3 sets, so I knew it was not going to be an easy fight. But I did have the extra scouting on him from last year, so I was super excited for this, and it absolutely did not disappoint. Before we get into this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and of course use code JTennis10 at restring.com for 10% off. I have been absolutely loving the Restring Zero, switching over from RPM Blast, so I definitely recommend these strings to anyone using RPM Blast out there. I kept nearly 100% of the power and spin, but gained a ton of control from switching these strings, so I would definitely recommend them, and now let's get into this video. Kicking off this match on my racket, I decided to serve first. Usually I like returning, but I served incredible during the double set right before this. We ended up winning that set 6-4, just 1 break to 0, but usually that is all you're going to need at this level of tennis. Again, I served super well. I missed maybe 1 or 2 first serves. The flat serves were absolutely firing, especially on ad side, so I decided to set the tone with my serve. Unfortunately, lost the second point. A little bit of a weird one, just trying to settle in with the volleys now that I've switched over to singles. But still trying to find my forehand early, try to put some pressure. I learned from people who had previously played this opponent on my team, he is super streaky. So if I was able to get him down, get him a little bit in his own head, I was going to be able to get some free points, maybe even some free games. Coming to the net on this point, not a great volley. He did a really good job throughout this whole match getting his balls low when I got up to the net. But up 40-15 here, misses the return, and we take the first game. I know I said this before, but I knew this was going to be an absolute battle. Last year, this player as a freshman took down our senior number one. Currently, he is an 8.0 UTR. I am sitting at around a 7.5, but recently have been doing a lot better. Had some great results against mid-7s to even mid-8s. Over the winter, I took down an 8.5 in a tournament backdraw final. So I'm feeling really good. Got this point right here, wanted to rally with him, keep the ball deep. Finally got a forehand I really wanted to rip down the line, just put it into the net tape. A little unfortunate, but that did kind of set the tone. I was able to get the next one ripped down the line. Absolutely love that return. Unfortunately, the returns on the ad side weren't quite doing the same, even though that is the side I play doubles on. And then this let twice hitting the net cord to go up and take the game. Little unfortunate. In college we play those. But back on my serve, I needed to keep the serve going, obviously, and then establish the forehand right after. That is how I play. I like to keep my opponents off guard. Unfortunately, the double fault right there was not helpful for me. My play style, personally, is whatever my opponent doesn't like. I like to mess with the rhythm, a lot of short balls, drop shots, slices, and then go for balls. I like to rip it. I like to mix around the pace all around. Kind of just do whatever I want, which I know isn't great, but also it can really throw off my opponent. But again, really throw me off too. That forehand right there absolutely soared, and there was no good reason for me to miss that. At 15-30 though, a good second serve forces a missed return, and I'm able to get myself back to 30 all. I really like mixing in the drop shots early. This one wasn't a great one, but a missed backhand volley. I went back behind my opponent, another thing I really like to do. To go up 40-30 here, a great slice return right there. He's keeping it low on me, and I pop this one up. Another one, a forehand that I really don't have any good reason to miss. Brings up a no-ad deuce. First deuce point of the match, and another forehand. 3 forehands missed in that game. None of them really forced too much. They were kind of just low balls that I skied. So down a break to start off this first set. Not where I wanted to be, but also somewhere I find myself quite a lot. I often don't start the best. Running for this one, just didn't quite do enough. That one went under the net there, in case you couldn't see it. One thing you probably have already heard, there was a women's lacrosse game going on behind where the camera is right here. So you'll hear some cheering from that and the PA announcer as I missed not 1 but 2 returns in a row to go down 40-15. I was really hoping I could break right back. Your best chance to get a break is right after you get broken. So I was trying to really stay alive in this game. I run around, try to go big on the second serve return, but miss into the net. So now down 3-1 in this first set. Down a break in the first set, I was looking for as comfortable of a game as I could get, and this was the exact opposite. An absolute roller coaster. I'm going to take you through it right now. First point, miss a forehand. Second point, put away right on top of the net, and I dump it into the net. A good serve there gets me back to 15-30, and then an absolutely beautiful ace out wide. Opponent didn't even move for it, gets back to 30 all. I'm feeling good. If you see a missed first serve, that's not a good sign because that means the second serve is coming. Exact same spot, a few inches below the net tape, and then an absolutely inexcusable point at 30-40. The same kind of ball right over the top of the net, and I push it significantly deep and long. Now down 4-1 in this set. Again, inexcusable. I cannot miss those shots a number of points in a row to go down 4-1. I was looking for anything here to try to get back into this set, and I was able to do a little. Got the first point, got myself up to the net, felt good about that. I was trying to keep the spirits up, got up 30 love here. Not a good showing right there on my opponent's backhand. Like I said before, the best time to get a break is right after you get broken. Obviously, I've already been broken twice. I didn't get the break on the first one, but if I wanted to have any chance in this first set, I was going to need to take this game right here. And honestly, I wasn't going to try to let him climb back into this. If this got to a 30-40 or a deuce point, one or two good serves or even a net cord like he got on that first game was going to knock me completely out of this set. A great point there. A little flick forehand drop shot to get it back to one break. Even after, like I said, the inexcusable break at 3-1, I was in this set, just one break down. If I could get a solid hold here, I was going to be in a great spot to try and come back. Like I said, this is a very streaky player, unfortunately missing that drop shot there. It's a streaky player. If I'm able to gain some momentum, I can absolutely stage a comeback. That is what I am absolutely best at, but unfortunately, another service game that we are falling behind in. Down 15-30, we need something big, a great serve, finally some confidence on that forehand in this game. We had the inside in, now an inside out, back to 30 all. I this time go with the slice down the line, kind of disguised as a drop shot. We get up at a game point here. Good serve. The ad side serves were absolutely firing, and another drop shot. That one double bounces to get to 3-4. All of a sudden, we are absolutely in this set. At this point, I had the confidence back in my serve. I had the confidence back in my forehand. My backhand was still a little bit shaky, but overall, I knew I was going to have two shots to try to break this guy. Unfortunately, two short returns led to some quick points for my opponent, and I was down love 30. Then you can see the backhand a little shaky right here, just pushing it deep. No reason for that, just super tight on the backhand. Down love 40, I was trying to make something happen. A decent return low, and then just doing too much with that forehand. So a 1-2-3-4 service game. Very, very routine for my opponent. No pressure applied whatsoever. But it's my turn now to try to see if I can stay in this set. Down 5-3 on my serve. I'm back on the side where I had my abysmal service game. Unfortunately, some of that starts to come back right here. Double fault up 30 love. Trying to do a little bit too much. Trying to get a little cute with the kick serve over to the forehand. Still up 30-15. And we get the ball right there. I was starting to notice here, if I went short to his backhand, he would not be able to do much. But if I went short to his forehand, that's where he came in and really made me pay the price. So if I was going to get a ball to go short, it needed to go to the backhand. Going into this return game, my assistant coach asked me if I needed anything. I looked him in the eyes and I said, I need a break. I knew how important this game was. If I was able to get this game, I was going to be in a great spot to take the first set and then the match. And I got up 30-15 right here. Obviously, if I lose this game, I am down a set and all the momentum is back with my opponent. Another missed return on the ad side right there made it 30 all. A great serve from my opponent, and I was not expecting him to take that out of the air. I was not ready for the backhand. And then right here at 40-30, another short ball. This time he keeps it on his forehand and the same backhand into the net. First set is complete, lost 6-4. Now, I am definitely a player that feeds off of energy. When I win a point, I'm loud. When I lose a point, I'm not exactly quiet. So as you can see right here, if you look to the right, there's definitely a lot of people here. We had a decent showing. but right along the fence where my teammates were standing, they went to see some other matches that were going on. And that definitely took a little bit of the energy out of me. I absolutely feed off of the energy of my teammates, of my opponent. If I'm yelling and my opponent starts yelling, that's great for me. Honestly, I love it if we're both out there with a lot of energy. So down 15-40 here. I went to the towel, I wiped off, I reset. I did not want to start this set with a break, and I decided to try and mix it up a little bit. I was really trying to keep finding my opponent's backhand, but even more so, trying to exploit these short balls to his backhand. Obviously, I'd said before, if I got a short ball, it would need to go to his backhand. If me giving him short balls to the backhand was not hurting me, and what I want to do is mess up my opponent's rhythm, why not purposefully feed him those short backhand balls? Right here is the best example of this. We get 2 short balls to the backhand and get not a great ball to him. He was standing at the net. He was ready for that volley, but still misses it down, messing with his rhythm. That is what I want to do here. So we got the hold after being down 15-40, and now it is time to see if we can get a break. Another thing that was contributing to this new strategy of the short to the backhand, deep to the forehand, was my own backhand. Obviously, I said in the end of the first set, I had started to tighten up a little bit, but that was getting even worse into the second set. My backhand just was not swinging through the way it normally does. A little bit of that could have been my legs, but a lot of it felt like my arms. They just weren't doing what I needed them to do on the backhand, but the slice was able to stay where I wanted it, just missing that forehand deep. That was one I wasn't really sure on his call, but obviously giving him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't really have any problems with line calls this whole day. There were 1 or 2 that he made that were close. There were 1 or 2 that I made that were close, one of which, even watching back, looks like it was in. It was a baseline ball, but obviously we'll get there at some point. Here, we are down 40-30, but able to force the missed volley. Not sure how much of that was me forcing it, but getting a no-ad deuce point here on the first game of the second set, the first return game of the second set. But that short ball stays on the forehand. That is the dangerous part of what I am trying to do. Obviously, if I get that short ball to the backhand, it's going to work well for me. But if it stays on his forehand, then I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because that is how he's been able to punish me. I was also starting to get a little frustrated here. I would have some games where I was serving perfectly. The first serves were absolutely crushing, but my kick serve was kind of breaking down. And as you could see there, a double fault, up 15 love, back to 15 all. I was never able to get just a clean service game off. And another dangerous thing there with my strategy, the backhands, especially the deep backhands, a lot of them are going to fall into the net. If you are forcing the ball short, you are going to miss a lot more. Obviously, that's not something I would ever plan on doing going into a match. That's kind of just where I found myself here in this competition. I wanted to win more than I wanted to kind of play pretty, which I'm sure a lot of tennis players can relate to. At the end of the day, the win is the win. So if you're able to do well, that's great. If you're able to get the W, that's even better. There was definitely a lot of added pressure in this match as well. Like I said, I'm playing number 1 at home for the very first time, and it was an absolutely gorgeous day outside, a beautiful Saturday. So we had a decent turnout, a lot more people than I was expecting. And me being number 1, playing on kind of the show court. We have a really weird court setup at my school. I'm not sure how to describe it. You can kind of see here in the background are all of the rest of the courts. And the court I'm playing on at number 1 is offset from the rest, kind of in the middle of a field. So anyone walking by, their eyes are going to be drawn to my court. And anyone watching there, obviously they know I'm number 1. And again, it's very, very close between me and the number 2 from our school. We've been going back and forth since, obviously, our freshman year. Last year, we were back and forth throughout the season. Now, this year, we've played challenge matches, and we split them. I'm number 1 right now. I also know that can change, so there's the pressure there, too, trying to keep my spot. Obviously, that's not going to change off of just one match, but I'm trying to prove myself there as well. Again, these are not things that I want to be going through my head during a match, especially right there on my second returning deuce point of the set. Really unfortunate. Another backhand that I just pushed deep, Really, really tight there. And of course, these are not things I want to be thinking, but they are things that I was thinking. And then the volley right there, kind of volley, kind of overhead, just a terrible shot. And that really set up this poor service game from me at 2-2. Like I said, I already had all of these thoughts going through my head, all of this added pressure from people watching, which I really do like. But again, it gets in your head. The pressure of trying to live up to my standards, the pressure of trying to live up to my teammates, my coaches' standards, and then the added pressure of knowing I should make a ball 99 times out of 100 and then I miss it. Even after that point, the 30-all, absolutely beautiful lob, just deep there. It was a really close call. Again, I trust my opponent, and looking back, it was, I believe, just deep. And then down 30-40, a double fault to go down a break in this second set. Absolute nightmare scenario for myself. Now, a break like that, especially one where you double fault at 30-40 to lose the game, that's the kind of thing that would normally break someone in a situation like this. You're already down a set, now you're down a break, you totally caused that, you totally brought it upon yourself. But it kind of did the opposite for me here. I mean, I was playing pretty tight going into that game, and then I really tightened up even more, and I said, you know what? That is why I lost this game. I'm not going to worry anymore about, the kind of things I practice of specific hitting patterns. I am just going to play each point to win each point. And I am going to play as ugly as possible if that's what I need to do. I said it before, I was trying to kind of win ugly, but now with that break, I really bought into it. You can see this ball here. There's no reason for me to go to that backhand angle. I absolutely should have just hit a backhand down the line, but it was the ball that I was most confident in, hitting that angle back over there. My backhand was really tight, and I said, you know what? I would love to make the wrong decision. Even that overhead, I shook it off right away. I shanked it way wide, but I said, you know what? I'm going to continue to make the wrong decision with full confidence, and it paid off. We got the deuce point, and we got the break right back. Like I said, the best time to get a break is right after you get broken, and I'm going to continue. You'll see it throughout this match. Make the ugly decision, make the generally not good tennis decision, but make it with full confidence, and that is how I was going to play the rest of this match, whether my opponent liked it or not. Now, back on serve, back at 3-all, the first point of this game was a little unfortunate, missing that forehand inside in just deep, and then double faulting right after that, down love 30. This is where, again, a lot of people would lose the confidence, but I doubled down. Not a great drop shot there, but I went all in on it, and that's what I was going to have to keep doing. I went right back to the serve and volley after the double fault and got it back to 30-all. Again, even with these scores, not winning pretty, but I am starting to win points, and I'm starting to feel good about it. Another slice approach, and then going back right behind my opponent, having a little fun there, maybe a little too much with the jumping overhead, but we get the point, and we get hyped about it. That is what I really need to do the most. Be excited about the energy that I am bringing. Be excited about the points I'm playing. Just in general, another double fault, bringing it back to deuce. Really unfortunate, but again, a great serve right there. And again, getting hype, trying to bring my own energy into it, trying to bring the fans' energy into it. That is what I really want to do. And that is why I'm here playing. I absolutely love this sport. So I am going to make sure I play as much of it as possible. Bring it to a third set, make something happen, make my opponent keep hitting one extra shot. This point here, even though I just missed that ball deep, I was really forcing my opponent. He knows his next ball needs to be that good or better because I'm going to get to it. And again, even forcing that drop shot, he knew he needed to hit a perfect drop shot because I was going to run it down. And that is how you get free points. Working to get two balls pays off. A little bit of a weird bounce there. My opponent doesn't get to a slice. That serve right there might have been just deep. I really wasn't sure on that call. I do remember that, but I played it. And unfortunately, my opponent puts away the overhead right behind me. He's up 40-30, but I still kind of feel the momentum on my side. I had a bunch of teammates back supporting me. That drop shot was great right there. We get the lob over the shoulder to get yet another deuce point on my opponent's serve here in this second set. I decided to go ad side right here. I was confident in getting my returns cross to his backhand. And check out this lob right here, forcing my opponent back. He misses the overhead, crushes the ball over to my side of the court. Really not happy with how he's playing. Honestly, probably not happy with how I'm playing either, and that was the goal. I was trying to throw off his rhythm as much as I could, and I was starting to see the fruits of my labor. Now up a break 5-3 in this second set. The most important thing at this point in the set, now up 30 love on my serve, was just get my serves in, make the balls that I need to make. I'm up 40 love. I don't need to do anything special. My opponent is clearly rattled. I miss the volley right there, kind of a put away to end the set, but he misses his next return, and I take set number 2 from down a break 6-3. After the second set, I took a decently sized changed over. I filled up my waters. I got a little bit of a snack, just some fruit snacks and a protein bar. And I also saw that our number 2 had won his match, so we were up 2-0 overall. And our number 3, obviously this was a combo match, so the guys and girls were both playing on these 6 courts. 3 for the guys, 3 for the girls. So we only had 1, 2, and 3 on. Our number 3 was in a third set, and he was ahead in his third set. So there was the potential that if I won the third set, I could clinch the match for us in the first 4 matches, which would be incredible. We beat this team 4-3 last year. So if we were able to get up 4-0 with the first 4 matches, that would be absolutely incredible. This is another thing, obviously, that is not good for me to be having in my head going into this third set. I had the momentum on my side, but as I have seen a lot, specifically in my own matches, typically when they go 3 sets, the person who wins the first set is able to make the adjustment and get back and win the third set. So I was trying to flip that script right there. And of course, thinking about all these other matches is not going to help me focus in on my own. While it's nothing too fancy, this right here was one of my favorite shots of the match. Faking the drop shot, getting the deep slice past my opponent. Really happy with how that point went to take the first game of the third set, get myself on the board, hold serve, and now my job here is to try to extend this game. In my opponent's first service game, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, only one actually decent rally, a couple of missed returns, and honestly, I didn't really force him to do anything, and I wasn't trying to let him get comfortable in this third set. Unfortunately, a couple of my short balls went more towards the forehand than the backhand. Again, that's something he was starting to pick up on, starting to split over and cover the middle of the court more with his forehand. So this is something I'm going to need to keep adjusting to as this match goes on. But again, my opponent is going to keep adjusting. I'm going to keep adjusting. It's going to be more of who can make kind of the last adjustment and the best adjustment in this match. Now down 2-1, still on serve in this third set. It was a little unfortunate that my opponent got to start serving in this third set. I really would have liked to set the tone, but I'm going to be behind in this third set until I'm able to get a break. This game was absolutely insane. Obviously, the first point was incredible. I got the let cord overhead to win it. And now the tweener lob. My opponent had missed a few overheads so far this match. I was just trying to feed him overheads, hoping he would miss one. I'm scrambling back and forth. He finally puts away an overhead directly onto the sideline. I even checked the mark. It was no more than half on the sideline, half along the other side. That ball was the close call I was talking about earlier. Zooming in from this angle, it really does look like it caught line, but there's a snapshot in my head. I remember seeing the ball bounce. That was definitely just into the green, and there were people on the side watching too who said that it was out just as well. I did just want to make a note of that because I pride myself on being as honest as I possibly can be. Although we are back, it's 30-all, and I pushed this backhand, kind of trying to do way too much with that ball. Just have to get it back in over the net. And right here, now down 30-40, we need to do something to stay in this game. And my opponent with a great cross-court pass. I was not prepared for him to flip it back cross-court. I was really ready for a forehand down the line. And now down 3-1 in this set. Really not a good spot, not where I wanted to be. I was hoping my momentum would be able to carry me through this third set, But as you can see, that is not going to happen. We really need to dig in right here. Throughout this whole third set, and especially in this game, now down 15-40, there were two things I just kept telling myself. The first was obviously just to keep winning ugly, to keep with the strategy. But the second thing was I just kept telling myself, my opponent, he wants to be you right now, Brady. He wants to be you. You got all the energy. He's got no energy. You have all the energy. You have a strategy that's working. You have something. You figured him out. You have a plan. He wants to be you, and it pays off. A double fault for my opponent, and then a beautiful return and a unforced error on the deuce point. I'm back on serve. I'm back to 2-3. Unfortunately, still not in a great spot, but I have the momentum on my side a little bit yet again. Now, over the next few games, you're going to notice something really interesting happening to the right of your screen. Right around now, the number 3 singles match on the guy side finished up, and my teammate won that in the third set, which is great. We're now up 3-0, which means my match is the one to clinch it for us. In addition, all of the girls' matches for their 1, 2, and 3 finished up, so all the other matches started warming up, which means everyone was watching me. That's not just me being egotistical. Quite literally, the whole crowd was turned watching me. Between points, it was getting dead silent. Once someone won a point, it was going nuts, and I was absolutely feeding off of that. I was telling myself, hey, you're on center court. I'm trying to pump myself up as much as possible, so maybe a little bit of an ego. And still trying to pump myself up, even through a double fault, even through some misses. I was trying to tell myself, hey, you are on center court right now. Everyone's watching you. This is the match that you dream of. When you are laying in bed, imagining you're playing a tennis match, you are living it out right now. This point here is an incredible example of winning ugly. A deuce point after multiple double faults. That is how I wanted to win. I wanted to just take points ugly. I was giving him all those short balls to the backhand. I got to 3-all, and honestly, I could tell I was in the zone during this match, but I did not realize how locked in I was until watching some of these points back, because I did not realize how many opportunities my opponent had. He was up 40-15 on his serve, and then there was that deuce point on my serve. Unfortunately, I'm kind of doing a little too much, making the wrong decisions with confidence. Doesn't always work out for me. But again, I did not realize in the moment how many opportunities my opponent had to absolutely pull away in this match. And I was, at this point, cool as a cucumber. I was filled with energy. I was telling myself, he wants to be you right now, and I could go on for days playing this match. And now at 3-all, I have yet another chance to break. We're at 30-all right here. I'm telling myself, again, I have all the energy, and I was really confident in my strategy by this point. If he got up to the net, I was really confident in the lobs. This one right here was absolutely perfect, dropped right on the baseline to get 2 chances at a break. Unfortunately, I missed that first return. I tried to go back to deuce side here to see if I can get the break. And check this out. I get my return in, and we are officially up a break 4-3. Every single set so far, we have been broken first at least once. And now we are back, and we have the advantage. The match is officially in our hands. Now, I'm obviously not going to act like I was playing my best tennis or my opponent was playing his best tennis either. Obviously, later on in this match, there were a lot of unforced errors, but I do think part of that was the style of play that I had, an incredible inside-in return right there from my opponent. So he definitely still was playing a very high level, but I do think the style of play that I was playing and I was forcing my opponent to play was definitely paying off. Like I said before, I was making him super uncomfortable, and a player like him who is very streaky was going to definitely struggle with how I was forcing him to play. Honestly, an incredible volley right there. Still, he was playing a very high level. As you can hear and see, by this point, everyone had basically come over and was watching my match, at least everyone who was there. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I'm playing some professional match. It's not a huge school. We're playing Division III tennis, but this is really what I live for, and this is right where I want to be. You can hear me after every point. You can hear the crowd after every point. I was getting loud. There was energy everywhere, and I was really just trying to soak it all up, enjoy it, but also keep that and use it to be relaxed and to play my best tennis. I thought I had a really good chance at this 30-all point. I made him hit a couple of extra balls, but unfortunately he was able to stay strong. This point was very good as well. He ends up putting the lob right onto the baseline, and I'm going to step off the commentary and let you guys enjoy this final game. So after being down a break in every single set and down 3-1, 40-15 in the third set, we took the win 4-6, 6-3, 6-4. My team ended up winning this match overall 6-1, so I was super happy with my own results and the team's results. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.